All right, so we have a question here. This is from 12 October, November 13, question number 3. Now, the question is important in a way that you will have equation given to you with some kind of power like n, x or something, and they will ask you to find out the value. If you look at this equation, where is the n? The n is in the exponent form, and you need to find out its value. So these are the questions which have certain pattern. If you understand to solve one of the question of such type, then definitely you'll be able to solve all of the questions of this particular pattern. Okay, so you need to understand all the steps and need to be very much careful, rather without being, getting too fast. And instead, you may miss some steps, and that can result into a mistake. Okay, so let's see how we can solve this question. Okay, in these sort of questions, the first thing you do is to thoroughly read the question very carefully. Okay, because you will be given different symbols. Sometime v will be given to you, and they will be considering v as speed. You may consider v as volume. You may consider v as voltage. Okay, same, you can go for different sort of symbols like R. You may consider it as resistance. You may consider it as radius. It may be something else. So you need to be very much careful while reading these questions. So let me read the question once. They say the drag coefficient CD is a number with no unit. Now, the first thing is very important. They say a number with no unit. This means that CD won't have any unit because numbers do not have units. So what we will do, we will put 1 instead of this. Okay, this is the first thing. Second, let's go on. It is used to compare the drag on different cars at different speeds. It is given by the equation where F is drag force. Now, this is important. What is F? F is force. Okay, let you are a bit confused. You may not know about what is drag force at that point of time. It is not required and not important. The only thing which is important for you is what is F? F is force. So what's the formula for F? That is F equals to ma. What are the units for m and a? Obviously, we know that kilogram and a is meter per second squared. Now let's go on. What is next? Next is the question is saying rho is the density of the air. Now, you know what is density, of course. So just find out density as mass by volume. Plug in the units, mass as kilogram and volume as meter cube. So you get the units for density also. Same time, A is cross-sectional area. Now, you should not be confused. Cross-sectional area, it may have different unit. No, any area would have a unit of meter square. So just write down the unit for area. Right, last thing. And then they say car and v is the speed of the car. Now, speed, you know that is meters per second. So let's rewrite the equation now. What is the equation? CD equals 2f rho v power n times a. Now we will be dealing with this equation now. So the first thing we do is we will plug in the units, but we should consider that CD has no unit. So we will write 1 in place of CD. And what about 2? 2 is a number with no units. We will ignore 2, of course. So what I did, I put the unit for F, that is kilogram per meter per second squared. Now I'll put the unit for density, V and A, and I'll ignore 2. Okay. What do you see here? V has a power of, N. So what I did, I just put a bracket and I wrote down the units for V. V is speed over here as it is said in the question here. So we will write meters per second and write down the power as N. Okay. Next, just simplify this equation as much as possible for you. What I can do here, you can see m has power of -3, m has power of 2. So we will write it combined as m power -3 plus 2. Okay, and rewrite. Now open up this bracket, m power n, s power minus n. Right. So let's simplify the equation further. Cancel out kg. So over here, m is -3 plus 2. So -3 plus 2, sign of greater and subtract. So m will become plus, sorry, -1. So here m become n minus 1. Now take this m as 1, of course, in the up over here, its power is 1. But take this whole, this will go up, and what will become? N will become minus, and 1 will become plus. Okay, when we take this whole exponent or power up here. Okay, so I just simplified the units for us, the powers for m. Now let's take the s up also. So simply it will become minus 2, and this will become plus 1. So it will become minus 2 plus n. Okay. Now, what next? So the m will become obviously 2 minus n, and s will become n minus 2. Okay, what next? The last step now. What we see over here in this equation, there is m with the power of 2 minus n, there is s with the power of n minus 2 on the right side of the equation. On the left side of the equation, there is no m, so we will consider the power of m as 0. And there is no s, so we will consider the power of s as 0. Anything which has a power of 0 is equals to 1. That means we are multiplying something with 1, so obviously it won't be any violation mathematically. So let's compare the exponents for m and s now to find out the values of n. Let's do it for m first. So on the right side, m power is 2 minus n. On the left side, m power is 0. To simplify n, n will become what? This n will go over here, it will become plus n. So n eventually will be equals to 2. You got the value of n. Now, if you want to check whether your answer is correct or incorrect, this is always recommended. Now also do this for s again. The same thing, the last step for s again. This will verify if you get same powers for n, that means you are correct. If there is difference, you should understand that you have made a mistake and you should, just recheck the whole process. Let's do it for s now. On the right side, s has the power of n minus 2. On the left, it is 0. Take 2 to the other side and it will become equals to 2. This means that you have same value for n for two different, sorry, units. So you can safely say that your answer is correct. So let's check the options. Simply you have 2 as your answer. So 2 is your answer. All right. So what are important things over here in this question? First is just to read down the question carefully. Check which symbol is representing which quantity, like F, V, rho, etc. Write down their units. Then when you plug in the units, ignore numbers, those which have no units, like 2 and CD we had over here. Simplify the whole, units, the powers, etc., everything very carefully. You should not be in a rush just to omit steps, and in a process, you may not make a mistake just to lose these easy marks, obviously. And eventually, when you have the equation simplified, then you can compare the exponents for both or two or three quantities as you would have always. And if you have same value for the variable like n, that means that your answer is correct. Okay, thank you.